Hey there. So I thought I would start this video off where it all began. In the closet! I don't even know how to start. Where do I start? I'm gay. That's a good start, right? Hey guys. For those of you who are new to our channel, I'm Lindsay, and in today's video, I wanted to do something a little different in honor of Pride Month. So I am sharing my coming out story for the first time on the internet ever. If you're friends and family, you probably know the story, but if you aren't, or if you don't know, get ready, because I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited to share it with you. To start out, I identify as a lesbian and a woman. I grew up and actually still live in a very small town in Oklahoma in the South. So you can imagine that my coming out story isn't the greatest, but I will give you some relief in saying that it's not the worst. I've got the best of both worlds. I like to say that my life is very yin-yang, and I've always identified with that theory and symbol and ideology. So here goes nothing. I've always been jealous of those people who said they knew they were gay or different at 5 years old. And I don't think I did know, but I was a tomboy from the very, very beginning. Like, I cried when my mom put bows in my hair and tried to get me to wear a purse and have a purse and all of those things. And so I've always known I was different. Not that that correlates to being a part of the LGBT community, but for me and my experience it did. So I want that disclaimer out there. This is my experience, and I want to help whoever out there might be feeling the same way. In elementary school, I always wanted to be on the guys' teams, and I hung out with all the boys, and we played baseball and wall ball and gotcha, like a basketball type game. I was a tomboy and all of those things. And then middle school, junior high, whatever you want to call it, hit, and suddenly girls and boys didn't play together, and it was like, oh, one side likes the other, and it was all of that stuff going on, and I was like, wait a minute, this is weird, this isn't, I don't feel like them, what's up, why? I just didn't understand. But I did know that I really enjoyed sleepovers with my friends. I didn't understand why all my friends were crushing on the most popular guy and all of those things, while I'm over here trying to plan how I can live with my best friend for the rest of our lives and grow and raise horses and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I was on a different level. And you can imagine being in a small school in the South that there were no gay people. Maybe two, but it was hush hush. It was either they got bullied and left the school, or they used their gayness to their advantage and they amped it up and made it into this sensationalized thing where, aha, look at me, I'm different, which is great, because I didn't have the courage to do either of those things, as you'll find out. It was really right around high school when I definitely knew, okay, wait, something's up. Like, I had my own group of friends and things were going great, and then I stumbled across this book at Walmart one day, and I remember the day and everything. It's like set in my mind. And you'll never guess what the book was. Pretty Little Liars. Yes, Pretty Little Liars was the turning point in my coming of age, coming out process.
Got a secret, can you keep it top secret?
I read the back of the book and it said that Emily has a crush on the new girl, and I was like, wait, that could happen? Wait a minute, this is in a book. It's not just something that is on TV, and it's not, oh, just Ellen is the only gay person in the world, because that's the only person I'd ever been exposed to, period. And so I read that book and I reread that book and I read it over and over and over again. And there was a moment where I was reading it in Spanish class one day, and someone got a hold of it and read the pages about Emily and Maya like kissing and stuff. And so then it was like, oh, wait a minute, Lindsay has this gay book, what? And so that was a little awkward in the beginning, but I blew it off as it's just a really good book. And so then I read every book after that. So read the book, knew exactly what was going on, and it still took me a little while to come to terms with how I was feeling, but at least I had a label. I had something I had a comparison that I could make. And that was where it started. I was probably 16 when that happened. And so then at that point I realized quickly that I was falling victim to something that most baby dykes can admit to, and that is falling in love with their best friend. It was something that I finally realized after reading that book, but I hadn't known completely up until that point. I wrote a letter, gave it to her, and the friendship pretty much dissolved. And with that, a lot of my friends that we both had vanished from me, so I pretty much lost my friends when I was 16, 17 or so. I went into my junior year with basically no friends, and luckily I made some new ones. They just so happened to be seniors. In fact, one of them was one of the first people that I came out to, Micah. Shout out to you, Micah. You're great. Love you. And it was one of those things where I surrounded myself with people that I knew would probably accept me, and I slowly started to come out. And then it was actually my junior prom when I cut all my hair off, and by that, my hair had been down to like right here. I cut it to here. So it wasn't as drastic as you see now. But for me, for everyone in that school, that was drastic because Lindsay didn't do those things. Lindsay was the goody two-shoes who got mad if you cheated on a test and tried to take her answers, and yeah, that was me. I cut all my hair off and suddenly felt a little better. And then I cut it a little shorter and a little shorter, and I was finally asked by someone in our commons area free time period, hey, are you a lesbian? Are you bi? And both times I was like, all the while I'm turning bright red, like literally like a tomato. So then when I went into my senior year, all of my friends that were seniors the year before were now gone. So I spent the entire year between like 2 classes at my high school. The rest were at the college in my town and watching the L Word. That was what I did my entire senior year. That was my life. And Xena. The L Word, Xena, those were my senior shows for sure. In fact, in order to get the L Word, because only certain Hastings had it, R.I.P. Hastings, I couldn't just tell my mom, oh, I'm just gonna go to Hastings and go buy the L Word. So if we were ever around that area, because apparently I couldn't drive myself there, I don't understand. When you look back, you don't understand how you were, why you did what you did. But I would go and actually grab the L Word, put it up at the cash register and tell the person to hang on to it. And then my mom would be finished with all her shopping and she would leave. And then I'd be like, oh wait, I forgot something. I forgot to go buy something. And I'd run back in and pay for it because I didn't want her to know. That's what you do when you're gay and you need stuff. Of course, now I could just Amazon Prime rent it online and it's not a big deal. So the new baby dykes have it a little bit easier. Once I started college, I feel like that is when I actually was like, okay, yeah, I'm gay. I mean, I had moments as a senior where I was like, yeah, I'm gay. This is what it is. But when I was in college, it was like a whole new ballgame. Not only did I have the straight best friend crush, but the straight girl that wanted to pretend to be gay situation. And I don't consider that even a thing, even though it took up like, I don't know, 6 months of my life where it's like, oh, you have a boyfriend, but you don't, but blah, blah, and all of that stuff. I don't even want to get into that because that was just torturous. But in the midst of all of that, I decided I was going to come out to my family. That's what was going to happen. So I came out to my mom. It was not good. It was awful. One of the scariest nights of my life. I'll leave it at that. Just not a good situation. So then obviously I didn't want to come out to my dad, who was even more religious and conservative than my mom, so I just left it alone for probably 6 months. We didn't talk about it. I was the president of a GSA, but we didn't talk about it. In fact, I started the GSA at my college because there wasn't one. A GSA, Gay Straight Alliance. Like obviously now I would call it Spectrum or something more all-encompassing, but at the time it was a popular phrase, so that's what I called it. And it was neat. It was a great place to, you know, to make friends. When I came out to my dad, it was pretty much the same situation, only less screaming and more shrewd disappointment, if you will. And it still wasn't talked about. It was just, you don't talk about it. It's not a thing. You don't even say the word gay. They say people like you. So I was my own little category of people. And people asked me, you know, if you could, would you go, would you change? Would you be straight if you could, if you to make it easier? And I'm gonna say a very unpopular opinion right now, but I wouldn't change. I wouldn't. My whole life I've been known as the goody-goody girl and the person who can do no wrong, and I'm so proud of you, and so you're so wonderful, and blah, 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 blah. And then when I came out, it was like, nope, we're not proud of you anymore. All those things we said, they don't mean anything now because you're gay. And I took that and turned it into self-confidence and self-awareness and self-acceptance, and I love myself. So yeah, I hope that who's ever watching this can do the same thing. I know this video is all over the place, and I knew it would be. Even though the situation with my parents wasn't great when I came out, I did have some family members who were the exact opposite reaction. My aunt, for instance, she's actually the first person in my family that I told. My Aunt Jennifer is amazing, wonderful. Like, she is seriously, she's the mother that I wish I could have. And I love her so much, and she's been here for me even before I came out. We've been super close, and so it was just a really great experience to be able to tell someone that you know what you hope and know would accept you no matter what, to tell them that, and then to get that positivity reflected back to you and acceptance, and it means the world. It meant the world, still means the world, will always mean the world. So I know that no matter what, I'm accepted and loved by her and my cousins and my uncle, and it's the greatest thing ever. So that is the yin to the yang of the negative situation and the positive situation. And my great uncle, Jimmy, he actually came to me and said, does that guitar pick rainbow necklace mean more than just a guitar pick? And I said, yeah. And so that was a great experience too. I mean, so I have some amazing family members who really support me and love me and have made my life great. When I first started the GSA at my college, a lot of people were like, oh, you're just doing this to meet someone because it's small town Oklahoma, you can't find anyone here, which was kind of true. But I did really want to start it to make a community and make people feel accepted and loved and have this awesome place where people could just come together and have fun and know that they're around people that go through the same things that they do every day. I wanted to create my own little LA in Oklahoma, but it didn't really happen. And in fact, and I would say the only good thing that came of that, the best thing that came of that, and the reason I'll admit today that I wanted to start it, is I met Nicole. And I met her through someone who came to the GSA who would be a mutual friend of ours, and I don't know what to say other than it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, creating that GSA and making the pathway to find the love of my life, it's the greatest thing I've ever done. And we met in May of 2012, and by the end of that month we had moved in together, we were in love, and the rest is history. Herstory. And we've been together ever since, and we've done so much together. We bought a house, we've been on a cruise, we've been to San Francisco, San Diego, St. Louis, we've been all over the place, and we've had so many adventures. We got married August 9th of 2013 in Iowa. We drove 9 hours to make it happen, and then not too long after, it was legal everywhere. But when you know something's right, you just know. Out of all the things that I've ever been certain of, loving her is by far the most certain, the most right, the most amazing thing that I've ever done. And you know, you fast forward from then till now, we have a 1-year-old. We did reciprocal IVF. We started a YouTube channel. We have this amazing family online. This amazing family we've built around us now with my aunt, cousins, uncle, all of our friends, Nicole's parents, like all of these people that 10 years ago were not in our lives, much less we were not in each other's lives 10 years ago. And so for me to go from a place of not being accepted, being in a small town, a small high school, literally our graduating class was like 50, to just tell you the size. And we were the biggest class they'd ever seen. But to go from that place and to now be married, we own a house, we have great jobs, we're doing great in our careers, we have the most amazing 1-year-old on the planet, and the most amazing love between each other, between us and our friends and our family and the people that we have brought into our little circle to make our own family. Because no matter who you are, what sexual orientation you relate to, what gender you are, what race, nationality, religion, it doesn't matter. You can still create your family. In fact, I think that's the most important thing that I've learned in my life so far, is that just because someone's related to you doesn't mean they're the best thing for you and your mental health. And just because someone that is not related to you by blood is in your life, it does not mean that they are not your family. I have the most amazing family in the world, and I'm so freaking lucky. So I'm here today to tell you guys that yes, it gets better, but it doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't happen on its own. You have to create your own better. Whether that's start a GSA, it works. Find new friends, make a YouTube channel, have an Instagram account where you have these amazing friends. Shout out to Gabby, Megan, and Danny, and Brandy, and Amy, and Canyon, and Brittany, and Aurora, and Bridget. Like all of these amazing people that we have found online. So I want to end this video with just saying thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me and Nicole's journey thus far online on this platform. And thank you for being our friends. And even more, thank you for becoming our internet family, because it really does get better. And you guys help make it better. So if you are watching this and you ever feel alone, please don't. Because I promise you I was right where you are 7, 8, 10 years ago, and it does get better. It really does. And it all starts with you. So thank you guys for watching, and if you guys want more videos like this where I sit and pour my soul, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions. If you need help, if you want to vent, please find us on Instagram. Here's the stuff. And send us a message. We're here for you. We will talk. Just know you always have a friend in us. So I will stop talking now and go see what my wife and daughter are up to. But until next time, bye guys.